So a lot has been happening in the last few days, and I personally kinda have a hard time to keep up with all of the news that's coming out, which includes both the Tokyo Game Show that is currently happening, and there was also the PlayStation Showcase, which I'll just say right away, I watched it already, and I think it was overall a pretty solid show, and they had some cool games that they showed off, which included the new game Saros, which is from Housemarque, which is one of the games where I would wish I had a PlayStation 5 because it looks pretty cool. And this wasn't the only big game, there were a few others, but if we talk about very notable game releases, this is one of them. And there is also, of course, the new Wolverine game, which looks pretty exciting. And yeah, it really does look good. But this is definitely not the only thing that has been happening in the past few days. There were also from Microsoft a few trailers and also some other news regarding Nintendo, which just came in a few hours ago, so I'd like to have a look at that. But yes, it's been a great time for gaming, I'd say, even though if you look online, people tend to disagree, but people kind of tend to be negative about everything. I hope this doesn't get age restricted for these scenes. I guess I have to blur it afterwards if that's the case. YouTube being kind of soft nowadays. But anyways, the first trailer that I wanted to look at is Forza Horizon 6. And wait, maybe let me put it on first. I have a history with the series. I played 4, I played 5, and back then I played Need for Speed, right? Or also Burnout. Those were like my go-to racing games. If we don't count something like Mario Kart, but that's like a whole different genre. But yeah, after a while, these games kind of fell off or just didn't feel the same anymore. But then Forza Horizon kind of came around, and since the 4th entry, I was definitely more into this. This kind of saved me in my love for racing games. And from what we saw, it's in Japan. I heard the rumors, yes. Okay, yeah, it's just a teaser trailer. But man, the rumors were it's either in Japan or in Germany. And both countries were perfect for that. But I'm definitely more than fine with Japan. It's a beautiful country. Especially also with Mount Fuji there in the back. I can imagine that they can create some beautiful environments there. Yeah, so like I said, I think there are some great games. I do prefer the 4th game over the 5th game simply because of the environments. I think Great Britain was way more interesting to drive around in than Mexico, where a lot of areas were just flatlands or desert, which was kinda after a while. And also something that I miss in the 5th game is the seasons that they had in the 4th game, with every week being a different season and just changing things up a little bit. You had to use different cars for different weather, you know. I think 5 was definitely lacking in some way, where the 4th entry was definitely superior. But yeah, that's about it. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with Forza Horizon 6 though. And it's not exactly getting better here with the news. Also from Nintendo's side, I've completely forgot to mention that there's also Fire Emblem Shadows, which is a mobile game. I don't play mobile games from Nintendo. There's a bunny girl.
Light illuminates shadow.
Is this a gacha game?
Obscures the light. I must choose between them.
Heroes was a gacha game, no?
Trust no one.
I guess if they want to make a lot of money, they have to make it a gacha game. The animations are cool.
No, I'm the one.
Just a few minutes to decide. Real-time strategy meets social deduction.
A little bit on the cringy side, oh maybe not cringy, but awkward.
then take on fast-paced.
And maybe edgy is the right word too. Damn, that is quite the change.
And one shadow disciple. But
okay.
it's more than simple combat.
Can't say it looked
Shadow
exciting.
disciple is secretly a traitor. Behind the light.
Amogus.
Of shadow. Your actions will influence each battle.
It's just like Amogus.
Even if it means betraying everything.
But like,
Discover or deceive.
why make these animations if they don't appear in the game?
Real-time tactics and treachery. Fire Emblem Shadows. Available now.
Isn't that also the same symbol for Shadow Eye in Xenoblade? I don't know. I guess it's a mobile game, like it's not like it's a massive release, so I guess it's fine. But I don't know. It's nothing for me. I'll just leave it at that. I saw it, I gave my reaction to it. Let's have a look at something that is completely different. OD. Here's the thing. I think this is mildly exciting. I don't know how else to put it, because I have seen some images from this trailer. Yeah, it definitely gives off some PT vibes, where I think that's still so unfortunate. Why is it blurred out? I think that's so unfortunate that PT never became a thing. I still remember the days where everyone was playing the demo over and over again to find some new secrets. And there were quite a few secrets in this game. And it was an incredibly cool demo. It definitely made you want to see more. And once again, it was just so unfortunate that it was never a thing. You gotta say, the visuals look incredible though. Like the droplets on the window alone. But the character model too. How many minutes was that? We're almost halfway through, but she's just lighting candles. That's all she does, I guess. But yeah, if that is in-game, my 3080 is already scared. What's happening with her skin? So, from what I've also read is that it's going to be a episodic adventure. Like there's multiple episodes that will happen, and also written from different people. There isn't much more to say. From what it looks like, it's gonna take quite a few years until things are ready. But I guess we'll wait. We'll see how things will evolve in the future. I think the Koei Tecmo thing will still happen, but maybe it would be cool to have a look at some gameplay from GameSpot for Age of Imprisonment. Like I said, I am looking forward to this game.
I thought it was damn good. So after 20 minutes of hands-on time, I've got 5 key takeaways for you.
It does look pretty smooth.
Age of Calamity was pretty wishy-washy with the alternate timeline stuff, but this time in Age of Imprisonment, they're going all in and making everything you see in this game, according to Nintendo, true to the main line.
You know, I said it before, I think I'll make a video for the main channel, but I genuinely believe that they actually make this here canon, and also the next game will be way more, I guess, canon to all the previous Zelda games, because they saw the reception for Tears of the Kingdom. I unironically believe that this is the reason, because of how many older fans felt alienated by what Tears of the Kingdom did and how it did that, and just how it handled the story, I guess. or what place it took in this game, which so many things didn't make any sense, and also it being a quote-unquote sequel to Breath of the Wild, although this is the worst sequel I think I've ever seen if we talk about it just being a sequel to Breath of the Wild, pretending like it never really happened in the first place. But I think this is all intentional. Also with the art book and including some more lore in the art book than usual, I think. I'm pretty sure it ties all back to that.
But there are of course a lot of questions about what happened before and after.
There's a door.
Because this is a canon Zelda Warriors game, now I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the rest of the character roster, because what I saw from just Zelda, Rauru, and Minoru alone, it was so good.
It does make sense that Minoru has all the various constructions
and 2 pieces of Zonai equipment, and these can destroy weak point gauges
Hold
or
up.
specific attacks.
Was that like the same thing as the rods?
It's split up into 2 direction-specific special moves.
Bow of Light, Flame Emitter. Unique skills. Okay, if you press... yeah, it is a... Let me think. I think it was like the rods. With the elemental rods.
And 2 pieces of Zonai equipment.
Just that it is character-specific skills now.
Really satisfying to pull off a counter when done correctly. 4. Sync strikes really change up the strategy, not just because it's a powerful attack that requires 2 characters, but it's because it needs 2 character and the nature of Musou games that require
wait, so it's full-on fusion for some time.
And 5. Rauru is just SSJ3 Goku. Changed my mind. During my time with Age of Imprisonment, we got to head underground with Rauru, Minoru, and Zelda. Zelda mentions that this is her first time in the depths, and didn't know that this existed. Minoru explains that the depths have multiple sites of sacred power, and she's been collecting constructs for her research. She wasn't able to investigate the depths.
Damn, you actually have those little 3D segments? To look around, maybe do some detective stuff?
Strange yellow Zonite sword and light projectiles, Rauru with spear and beam attacks, and Minoru with a bunch of contraptions cobbled together.
You can jump onto it. This looks definitely way more fleshed out than Age of...
Even those with some experience with any Musou game will likely find...
Dear lord, how's the previous game called? Age of Calamity.
Strong attack combos, dashes, flurry rushes, guarding, weak point smashes, gathering materials for crafting, the whole shebang. Attacks are flashy, have massive AoE, and are always fun to dole out. Where it really changes in Age of Calamity...
Honestly, I'm just glad that this game is looking smooth.
Changed up from the Sheikah Slate, unique attacks with the Y
would be weird if it wasn't with the Switch 2.
Specific moves. The Y version counters opponents dashing towards you, such as a construct's forward lunge pulled straight out of tears. The Y version counters opponents dashing towards you, and the X version counters aerial or jumping attacks, such as the Frox's leap attack. These attacks can be used.
So there's quite a bit more strategy going on.
Seems much more worthwhile with an extra follow-up at the end. These attacks have a cooldown, just like before with the successful use of the Slate ability. The interesting
now the gauge looks quite different.
Are customizable Zonai equipment, each with specific properties that are changeable in the deep.
I like that.
This lets you change your loadout.
I think that's cool.
Depending on what the enemy's weaknesses are. However, the Zonai equipment uses Zonai batteries which need to be replenished, so it can't be spammed forever. The cool thing about this equipment
makes sense. And
attacks without your input, which can really help out dish out the damage.
It would be boring if it's just about spamming, although Warriors games are kind of like that, you know.
That carry over from Tears of the Kingdom, such as Frox eating bombs, weak shots to the eye, or attacking its backside ores. So if you played Tears of the Kingdom, you'll have a leg up on the general idea of how to take on what you're up against.
You know,
Sync attacks are the biggest game changer in my opinion.
Considering just how many characters there were in the previous games, and it's not like they introduce a lot of new characters in Tears of the Kingdom, I wonder just how big the roster will be. I mean, of course you have something like the Construct Link, that is being able to fly and stuff, but just how much further can you expand it? Like, I wouldn't know. Are they bringing back a lot of the characters from Age of Imprisonment? I think it would be quite boring if they brought over just a lot of the old characters, I guess, that also were in the previous Hyrule Warriors. So, I'm interested to see where the story will take us.
Most characters were solo adventures attacking different points on the map, but sync attacks are so powerful that having two characters working together to pile through an enemy quickly to save time makes you reconsider where to send units to keep them together or separated. These attacks
he seems kinda busted, not gonna lie.
Them strategically. Each sync attack pair-up is completely varied, from multi-directional beams you can control, or a completely alternate form such as Mineru's powered-up construct, making some probably worse or better in some situations. Just thinking about the final possible roster for this game and designing an interacting sync attack across all characters sounds like a very daunting task, but one I'm looking forward to. I also played on Switch 2, and as a Musou game notoriously known for being chaotic with lots of things going on...
He also played it on Switch 2, isn't it only available on Switch 2? I'm not aware that this is also a Switch 1 game.
No issues throughout my run. This is promising since Age of Calamity did hitch a bit on the previous gen tech. While
that's an understatement.
Short with a little teaser at the end, I got a pretty good idea of how good Age of Imprisonment feels. And it feels damn good. I think the fact that this game already has good legs and
Max Blumenthal, a legend. I enjoyed all of his previous videos on Breath of the Wild and also Tears of the Kingdom, where he just collected a lot of fun facts and details that maybe you weren't aware of. That was usually pretty cool.
Want to see just makes me more excited for its release on November 6th this year.
But I assume the Koei Tecmo segment will still happen. Maybe I'll have a look at that. The last thing I still wanted to check out is Resident Evil Requiem on Switch 2 and how it actually performs. So where's the gameplay? Here it is.
Somebody was in a cack chair watching this very closely.
It looks pretty stable to me. Stable 30 FPS, which is nice. Especially with ray tracing enabled and everything, you kinda expect that. So it definitely looks quite promising. I'm happy to see that. And we still have, like, how much time left? 4 months? 5 months? It's still way more than enough time to improve things.
Now you should have sound.
I don't see anything. It's a pretty dark game. I mean, what can I say? It does look pretty solid. I don't know how it looks in person. I would have loved to see that in person. But I don't have the time to just casually fly over to Tokyo. I guess with working a full-time job it'd be like that.
Open? Dead. Okay, so we're gonna have to go somewhere and find ourselves up.
Man, I think I'll do a streaming adventure, I guess you could call it, where I go through all of the Resident Evil games that I haven't played yet, which I played the original one, right? Resident Evil 1. I know it is beloved by many people, but I kind of found it bothersome. I don't know. I played those games back in the day, and they were fine back then, but this having the fixed camera in an angle of the room and you kind of just having to turn around and you barely see anything in every direction, I didn't find it that enjoyable. The atmosphere was great though, I'll give it that. I think Resident Evil 0 was also in the same way. I would still give it a try because I have it on Steam. I own the game, so, you know, might as well give it a shot as well, at least for one stream. And then go to 2 remake, 3 remake. I already played 4, but not the remake, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll play the remake. I guess I could do that, why not? Just to keep it chronological. Then of course 5, also 6. I heard it's not a great game, but I would definitely want to check out 6. Then there is also 7, which I also already experienced, but you know what would be really cool? if I get a code from Capcom. I never got anything from anyone, but it would be really cool to get a code for the Switch 2 version that will drop next year. That would be so nice, and I would stream it definitely. I would, I guess, stream Requiem sometime after that. I also haven't played or watched or did anything with 8, so this would also be a game I'd like to check out. And then of course Requiem at the end. This is quite a big undertaking, but I think the Resident Evil series is pretty great. I think it's pretty cool. I played also both Revelations games. I like them too. Yeah, so this is my plan, but this is something that I would probably tackle next year. I'm really looking forward to this game, but I definitely won't playing this game. I won't be playing this game day one, that's for sure. Also, something that I saw on Blue Sky here is that Satoru Shibata will become Nintendo of America CEO this year, which is honestly great news, because if you remember back in the Wii U days, he's definitely more silly, which is more like Satoru Iwata and Reggie back in the day, which is great to hear. So I think he will be a great addition. I also saw that, yeah, as you can see, he is also a cosplayer. Yeah, and also that Devon Pritchard will become the president of Nintendo of America. I don't know what her history is, I don't know what she has done in the past, besides of course working for the marketing and consumer experience thing. This is something that we just have to see once it happens, you know? But regarding Doug Bowser, I think it's kinda unfortunate that we went from Reggie to him, you know, someone who was constantly present there, where you really felt that they cared about video games, to someone who just was present once for a Bowser joke and that's about it. I don't think that most of us will miss him. Like, there are many reasons why we should, but I guess that's just how things are. Yes. I think that covers most of it. Also, Hades 2 seems to be a Game of the Year contendant as well, so I will be checking this game out. I think when the physical game releases, which is also a physical game, actually physical, in November I think it was, I think I'll pick it up. I think I'll give it a try, for sure. Yeah, I think this is it for all the news. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I see you all in a future live stream. Have a good one, folks. Goodbye.